Hello, everybody. Welcome to our session, our free session on and extra session at the same time. I'm going to discuss today something related to mindset for IELTS. But as you told me that you work on book 3, but actually I'm going to start with the foundation book, which actually has all the basics of of how you can succeed in IELTS. What's nice about the first book is that it's actually for like both general and the academic exam, the academic test. But the point here is that this is a way to prepare you for يعني, the exam, for the test itself, and how you can excel in answering and getting like high band score. And the most important thing is that it starts with the basics of the basics. I know that most of the materials, most of the stuff that you already know, but actually there's a lot of stuff that you really need to know. And we'll see this now. But let's say that we are going to have a journey on the book, which is the foundation book first. And I'll show you how you can use it, because it will be, as you know, literally impossible for me to cover foundation book 1 and book 2, and start with you book 3. No, it's not my job. As you know, my job is just to give you feedback and draw your attention to your mistakes and stuff like that. But then I will do my best to give you some input that will help you. Honestly, most of what you are going to work on today will be based on you personally, that you need to exert some effort, and you need to practice on your own. How to do that? That's what I'm going to show you in a minute. I will start with the book itself, which is Mindset for IELTS. And as I told you, I'm going to start with the foundation book, Students Book Foundation. Honestly, the book itself, Mindset for IELTS, is one of the best books I've ever taught in my life. I used a lot of books for IELTS. Barron's is one of them. Barron's is a great book. Collins is also a very good book. Cambridge, of course, it's like number one. But I would tell you that I loved using Mindset for IELTS, because actually, let's say that it takes you step by step and teaches you how you can do everything with IELTS, and starting from scratch, let's say from the beginning of, but from the foundation level till you reach the highest level with the book that you have, book 3. You'll notice today that I'm going to share with you, or I will talk. I'm not going to share the books themselves. As I told you, you can get them the way you like. Online, buy them, whatever. I'm going to share with you the student's book plus the teacher's guide. And I'm not sure if you used the teacher's guide before or not. And if you use the teacher's guide, let me know. I need to know. If you use the teacher's guide before, teacher's guide of Mindset for IELTS book 3. Did anybody use it? Nothing, I guess.
No.
That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to show you today how you can work on the student's book and the workbook and the teacher's guide at the same time. Here is the teacher's book itself, and let's start from the basics. طبعا there are a lot of parts in the book that we are going to skip. No, we will not need. Now we are doing the academic IELTS and not general IELTS. That's why there is a lot of stuff that I'm going to skip. But let's see, and I'm going to tell you what exactly you are going to focus on and how this will help you in your preparation for IELTS, inshallah. طبعا, again and again, the main reason for working on Mindset for IELTS, the foundation book, is that, forgive me, most of you, if not all of you, need to know a lot of basics about IELTS. And I noticed this while correcting your stuff with the speaking and with the writing, and even when you just talk to me asking about something. Let's start the book from the beginning, from scratch. And what is nice about it is that from the very beginning, you'll find that the book is divided into units, okay? And these are actually, or are the main units or the main topics that you may have for speaking and for writing, or let's say some of the main. Of course, you have daily life, and it's essential that you might be asked a question in speaking task number 1 about your daily life, talking about your house and home and the stuff, talking about your hobbies and hobbies, leisure and entertainment, about traveling, about food, transport, and the places in town, about jobs, about health and medicine, about language, science, and technology. What is great also about the book is that the book is a self-study book, which means that you can do the exercises and you'll find the answer key at the end, which is a great point about the book. Find this for the students book. I haven't talked about the teacher's guide yet. And still, we have the listening script. So as I told you, it's a self-study book. And even if you focus, honestly, if you focus on the student's book, this would be more than enough. But the point that with the teacher's guide, you'll find like some extra material that you may use, and that might be helpful to you. At any time, of course, you can just send me a message or raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. So let's start with the book itself and see how this great book is divided. طبعا, as I told you before, the book that I have, I have some concerns about this idea that you use level 3. Honestly, level 3 might help you, but still you need foundation level 1, level 2, level 2. I'm talking to my children now. خلاص? This is the point. Because as you see, the foundation level sets the basics. Then you go to level 1 if you target band 5.5. And I guess you noticed that for my feedback, most of you, the feedback that you got in listening and speaking and in writing, you find that a lot of you got below 5, which means that you do need the foundation at level 1. Some people are aspiring 6.5, which is our target. That's fine. But still, I can hardly found it that some of you got 6.5 for speaking or for writing. وطبعا level 3 اللي هو that you already have اللي هو 7.5 above كمان. honestly احنا مش we're not up to this level now. خلاص. That is the point. You can read the introduction actually if you want about the topics that you have and more ideas about it and something about IELTS. You know this very well, but if you have time, have a look at it. And what is good about is that's the idea about the teacher's guide. And why I'm asking you about the teacher's guide, you told me that you haven't used it before, but actually it's perfect. Okay. What is good about that, as it's written here, the teacher's book has been designed to give you a step-by-step look at the activities and how this for the teacher itself, but still you'll find notes for the students themselves. Fine. Not only for the teachers, and this is for the teachers mainly, but still there are some notes that for you that will help you to focus on what to do. كأن التيشر معاك دلوقتي, you have the teacher who will tell you what to do. But refer to these parts of the teacher's guide. Some parts, not all of them, of course. طبعا there is something else, which is the idea how to use the online module specific to the foundation module. وهنا في online materials. You told me that you don't have access code and stuff like that, but this is a story that we'll discuss later. Let's skip now. What's great about that, in the book, you'll find something about reading and writing, speaking and listening. There is the language builder, and there's a lot of material about grammar and vocabulary, as you'll see. Okay, طبعا what's good about, as I told you at the beginning, in the book, the foundation book focuses on both academic and general and academic. Right? Some parts you will not need, but still you will not cover, but still you do need that. Right. How are we going back to cover this book? How are we going to study from this book? This is my main concern بقى. ركز بقى في الكلام كده عشان ده أهم كلام ممكن يتقال دلوقتي. And دلوقتي you have the book itself, which is the foundation. And the same thing you are going to apply for book 1, book 2, and book 3. I'm going to give you a quick idea about that hopefully today إن شاء الله. نبدأ من book 1 وbook 2 وbook 3 بتبتدي بقى نبدأ من book 1, starting from book 1 هنلاقي الموضوع specialized أكتر. Listening, reading, speaking, and writing. The most important thing that I would like you to focus on here is to read this part. In this unit, you will learn how to. وده مشكلة عندنا as Egyptian students. ناس فاكرين إن البارت اللي في الأول بتاع learning outcomes او objectives او what's in it for me ان ده محطوط كده for fun. How many of you reads this part when they start studying? Would you please raise your hands? Shall I say none? No one. This is what I've been talking about. This first part is the most important. And here you know what you are going to learn. Plus, after you finish this note, this unit, I mean, you've got to refer to these points to see if you have already learned something or not. ما ده فايدة learning outcomes أو objectives أو what's in it for me. أنا هستفاد إيه من اليونت ده؟ In this unit, you will learn how to, number one, understand activities that people do in their daily routine. Well, this is the question that you will be asked in speaking tasks in general, whether number one or number two. خلاص? That's number one. Talk about your daily routine. Talk about activities that you do. طبعا using the present simple and so on الكلام ده سهل مفيش مشكلة فيه طبعا you will skip. Read multiple texts to choose the correct answer. وهنا كأنه هو the book starts to teach me how to answer comprehension questions. بعد كده write about your daily routine. أكيد في الامتحان مفيش daily routine, but still it's the first step to write. Read to guess the meaning from the context. ده بقى موضوع مهم جدا. Guessing the meanings of new words in a listening task or a listening question or a reading question. For sure, you'll find words that you haven't seen before. You need to guess whether while listening or while reading. The next point, listen to information about a student exchange trip. فهنا في training on listening. And then after that, speak about your day. أنا بتدرب على ال 4 skills in the same unit. خلاص؟ طيب. الميزة بقى هنا in the book starts with something that might look simple for everyone. But still أنا أعتبر إن أنا بعمل refreshment للإيه؟ refreshment to my knowledge. These are the activities. Which of these activities do you do every day? فكأن هنا عمل لي brainstorming ان انا هتكلم عن ايه؟ والله I get up, I exercise, I work, study, catch the bus, watch TV, go online, or relax with friends. And then after that, or go to bed or or have breakfast. خلاص انا I did this one like orally. خلاص والله if you have a chance and you study with one of your friends or one of your mates here, just decide to do it together. ما تيجي نذاكر مع بعض النهارده. خلاص, how about you? What are the activities that you do? And then you start comparing your answers and talk about his answers and his daily activities and so on. خلاص? This is at a very simple level. Then comes after that, read the sentence about the boy who is doing language course in the UK and choose the best answer. خلاص؟ ده بمنتهى البساطة. It's a very simple exercise that helps me to form correct sentences. And at the same time, it will help me to work on collocations. فاكرين الcollocation? Do you remember it? ايه الcollocation?
Two words come together.
Excellent. Exactly. That's the point. That's why we say do homework, play football, and do karate, for example. خلاص؟ this is the idea. هنا مثلا ping. ping ايه؟ gets up ولا stands up ولا stays up. This is sentence number 0. Tells you this to tell you that it is already answered. طبعا he gets up. Right. At 8:30 a.m. he ate the bus.
Catches.
Very good. على الرغم ان انا بقول he travels by bus every day. بس هنا travel by bus انما catches the bus. He goes to the bus station. معايا؟ برضو in a very simple way, you see, a sort of refreshment. انا عارف ان انت بتعمل حاجه من كده, but still it will be a good way to revise. And then والله if you have a chance to do this with one of your colleagues when you study together, ask each other these questions, correct for each other. Do you do any of the activities in exercise 1, exercise 3, sorry, what time does your school or college or job start, and finish, and so on. Okay, and this is for this exercise. And after that, you'll find that the book is taking you to another stage, which is the reading stage. Very simple level, مش زي التكست اللي احنا that we work on بتاعت reading tasks اللي هي يعني of a very high level. This is just an article. You're going to read this article about daily life of 3 teenagers. But still, this is a way to practice. ما أنا لما هعمل language exposure زي ما قلت لكم, as I told you before, language exposure is when I'm exposed to the language. I listen and read and so on. فده بيعمل إيه? This builds up the language in my mind. Okay? Well, here you learn to number one, to skills that we already talked about. احنا اتفقنا ان عندنا the skill of as a reading skill, which we call skimming. And what do you mean by skimming? حبايبي, what is skimming?
I think skimming. I think know the general idea.
Excellent.
Read quickly to know the general
This
idea.
is perfect. Exactly. Skimming, when you skim through the text, انت you go through the text. خلاص, we get an idea كده بتاع التكست بيتكلم عن ايه. وافتكروها always related to skimmed milk. هو ايه اللي skimmed milk؟ عايز اقول لك منزوع الدسم. What happened with the skimmed milk is that they took off the cream. فاحنا هنا برضو we will take off the cream of what's happening. We talked about the ideas of how you can do this skimming, that you just read the first sentence, the topic sentence, read the conclusion. هعرف الباراجراف بيتكلم عن ايه. انا اعمل skimming. Fine. So you can skim through it. Find that the book is highlighting some parts which will help you. Here we have some people, and each one of them talks about his daily routine. And then we come to some exercises. The exercises here are comprehension questions. خلاص? Comprehension questions based on the text itself. يبقى أنا عملت skimming, I got an idea about the text itself, and then I read the questions and find the answer in the text. طبعا الدنيا سهلة جدا, أسهل ما أنتم متخيلين, مش زي امتحانات الايلتس اللي بنبعتها لكم خالص. Fine, it will be a piece of cake. خلاص, but still, as we said, it's just the first stage of refreshment. The most important thing بقى that we have اللي هو البارت بتاع التip ده. التيبس دي يعني please do not skip any tip in the book. Do not. They are all important without exception. وتيبس بقى باديه حاجه برضه خفيفه, they give you a quick idea about what you can do till you reach the like very important points that you have to. For example, in this kind of exam text, there is often information about question in more than one text. Let's look at the information in green and think about why B is the correct answer. مثلا يعني مديني الايه some hints كده to tell me why the answer is so. خلاص. For example, طبعا عشان first answer is the first question is answered. مثلا who finishes studying before 1 p.m. طب ليه هي مايكل؟ عشان كده. You got me؟ ايه اللي خلاني اقول لها it's Michael who does that؟ لان هنا بيقول ايه then study until مثلا 12:30. خلاص, فانا عرفت هنا before 1. وزي ما قلت لكم as I told you before ان احنا we do not have direct question. هنا in the text you have 12:30 وفي ال question it's ايه؟ it's before 1 p.m. مش هيجي السؤال يقول لك 12:30 بالظبط. The next tip, خلاص, mini tip بقى. الأولانية كانت tip, the second one is the mini tip. Look at the information in yellow in the article about the family members. Which one answers the questions correctly? كأن أنا بيساعدك. It helps you to answer the questions. خلاص؟ نيجي بعد كده للبارت بتاع الجرامر, والدنيا طبعا أسهل من السهولة. هنا بتكلم على present simple و adding s و is و the uses و this stuff. طبعا you can skip. Okay? If you'd like طبعا to refer to, it's up to you. Then you can talk to one of your friends and discuss this. And then it takes you the next exercise, which is exercise 9. Actually, it takes you to the next step, layer speaking. You are going to speak about the magazine article in exercise 5. Read the task and make notes about what you could say. Then in pairs, do the task. Work بقى together practice this task together. يعني مثلا close your book. Student B, make sentences about Eva, Michael, and Nina, and so on. I mean, you can practice it together if you want. تمام؟ The next exercise بقى, يعني أنا من الexercise اللي أنا مش شايف لها لازمة. ليها لازمة ليكم. I mean, طبعا exercise مهم جدا. Exercise is very important, but for you يعني خلاص you can skip this part if you want. هي البوينت بس فيها إنها it teaches you how to talk about your daily routine by giving you certain sentences. فأنا لو حليت when you do this exercise خلاص, for example, Dan usually gets up at 8, and then she has a shower and then eats his breakfast. After that, he always gets his books ready and then he goes to his lectures until midday. In this part, I can learn the correct structure of a sentence and at the same time I can apply it to myself. Okay? That's for this exercise. هنا بقى طالب مني write about your daily routine. you can skip this. احنا ما عندناش الرايتنج بالشكل ده خالص في الابتدائي انجلش. اوكي. ونيجي هنا البارت بتاع الماتشنج برضه بيدربني step by step on how we can form a correct sentence. And in this exercise, read the text and match the phrases that have similar meanings. يعني لو جيت قلت مثلا do the laundry، ايه الكلمه اللي هي the word that gives me the same meaning of do the laundry. Choose from A, from 1 to 3 to 6, A to F. Yes, please, yeah, random.
Was letter C? Where's the clause?
What's the clause, for example, exactly. تمام, and so on. طيب, ايه القصة هنا؟ ايه القصة هنا؟ ان انا you have a variety of words, or let's say synonyms, and saying something in different ways. اللي احنا something that we need in our speaking and in our listening and our writing. Our speaking and our reading. هتقولي في السبيكينج طبعا انا مش لازم استخدم the same words that are used in everyday language او اللي هي the words that were overused. I need to use other words. and give me a chance to talk about to express myself using a higher level of vocabulary. Right? For example, that's here an example about that. And also, you know that in listening and reading, as I said a moment ago, that you do not have direct answer. You usually have the definition, or let's say the synonyms of some words and the opposites and so on, not the same phrase or the same word. Then we come after that to writing about a description of something. طيب حد يقول لي طب ده هيفيدنا في الايلتس؟ اكيد هيفيدنا لان احنا we have a question about that similar to that اللي هو the chart about the steps of doing something. فهنا you learn how to say next, or first, and then next, then, and so on. Okay? Well, if there is a chance طبعا ان كنتوا you practice this with any of your, this would be a great idea. After that, we have the listening task, and this time here is the listening, where let me say something before we continue about this part. Okay, now we come to the next question, question number 15. Read more information about the website offering student exchange program. And this is like a sort of introduction to you. But we have some mini tips here. And many tips are usually related to the points that you have. Tips will be general for your IELTS exam. Hereby, you are going to listen to two friends, Carlos and Jack, talking about a student exchange trip. Listen and decide which countries Carlos and Jack come from. بصوا هو بمنتهى الأمانة يعني I always say that in it's يعني for people who would like to take IELTS and sometimes they need some input by taking like an English course where they would learn more about English and then focus on the IELTS. ميزة الكتاب هنا ان هو بيلعب على البوينت دي من ناحيتين ان هو the book will prepare you to improve your language step by step, and at the same time you will have practice on IELTS. Okay, now let me show you how you are going to work on that. And I have the track. I'm going to play the track now to you. Listen and just decide which countries Carlos and Jack come from. Let's listen. اخد بالي من شكل التراكس كويس قوي عشان ده الموضوع مهم جدا. يعني هي كاتب لي تراك 2 خلاص، انا عارف ان ده تراك 2 في الليست بتاعت التراكس. اوكي let's listen.
Track 2. Hi, Jack. I'm really excited about coming to stay with you at your house on the student exchange trip to Australia next term.
Me too, Carlos. I know you're going to have a great time at my school and with my family.
Tell me a bit about your family. What do you all like doing?
Well, I love playing volleyball and basketball. I do volleyball once a week and basketball twice a week.
I remember you have a brother. What does he do? Is he interested in sport too?
No, not really. He prefers staying at home and reading. He's a member of our local gym, but he never goes.
Oh, that sounds like me. You've got a sister too, haven't you?
Yes, she's really good at painting and drawing. Some of her work is hanging up on the walls at home, so you'll be able to see it when you come.
That would be great. I'd love to see it. What about your parents?
Well, my mum loves growing things. She spends a lot of time outdoors planting flowers and cutting the grass.
That sounds interesting. And your dad, what does he like doing?
Well, he's really good at building and fixing things. If anything gets broken around the house, he fixes it. He makes new things too, like furniture.
Great. And I know your grandma lives with you. What does she like doing?
Well, we're lucky. She's an amazing cook and makes us all wonderful meals every day. She already wants to know what you like eating.
Really? Well, that gives me an idea for a present for her. A recipe book from where I'm from in the USA.
Perfect.
Okay, now I guess you got a quick idea about this dialogue. What do you think? I have idea. Listen and decide which countries Carlos and Jack come from. Please, where are you? Please respond, say anything.
Doctor, I answer the questions like Jack's brother and sister.
And I was talking about the first question only. Which countries?
I can't hear you.
You didn't see. طب it's okay. طيب say دلوقتي after you answer we're going to check the answers now. طب did you all answer اللي هو exercise 17? Although I was not asking about.
I listened Australia, I think.
How about the others? Let's see. We'll see in a minute. طيب احنا we said that the answer key are at the end of the book. After you finish doing the exercise, كنا في exercise كام؟
17.
16 and 17. And starting from page 125 on the PDF itself, you will find the answer key. And the first one, طبعا Jack comes from Australia, both are okay, and Carlos comes from the USA. خلاص? Although it was not directly said in the text. The A point number one that we need to focus on. خلاص? The point that comes after that. Just give me a minute. Okay. Actually, I am a bit lost. Now, where are you? Yes, okay. تمام. After that, we have, as you see here, I would like you to read again the mini tips. The mini tips, as I told you, are always related to the exercise that you had. And then after that, as I told you, you can listen, answer the questions, read the question. هنا طبعا this will be just a practice on something that might be useful to you and putting the basics as I told you. Here we come to the next part, which is about the speaking task, talking about your day. How to talk about your day. We will find the question saying like that, for example, what you talk about, what you do, who do you do it with, and where you do this. For the tip here, you say you should write only short words and or phrases. زي ما قلت لكم بادئ معاكم من ال first steps, and دلوقتي you will be given some time, a minute, to take notes on what you're going to talk about. No need to write the story of your life in this case. All that I'm going to do is that I'm going to write points only. ان انا مثلا I'm talking about my favorite hobbies, يبقى هكتب التايتل ان انا يبقى chess, tennis, traveling, whatever, وبعدين I will elaborate more points after that. Okay. These are the tips, of course. And the first 3 points, tip number 19, the first 3 points are factuals. Don't worry if you can't think of anything to say that is true. You can invent something if you need. كمان حتى بيديك tips. The book gives you some tips in case you don't know what to say. Don't worry. The examiner doesn't care about your answers, I mean, as much as he cares about the language that you use. That's what I'm saying. مثلا one of my favorites ملوش لازم نوسعها قوي يعني لو انا عايز الف حاجه مش هوسع الموضوع قوي. You got me? انت مثلا you come to work, for example, by the means of transportation. For example, you want to make it different. Use other means of transportation. I use the background, I'm sorry, the underground. I use my own car. I use whatever. The examiner doesn't care about what you're going to say. He cares only about, or he or she care about the language that you use. خلاص? That's why it's mentioned here in the tip. You can invent something if you need to. And then after you do this exercise, as you see, the previous exercise and join, you will find the answers in the answer key at the end. And number Jack's brother, for example, number 1. What is his or her hobby? Do you remember?
F.
Right. Say it, please.
F. Reading books.
Number F. Reading books. Okay. Do you all agree that it's reading books?
Yes.
Everybody, I mean, do you agree that it's reading books?
Yes. For me.
That's fine. Okay. As I told you, refer at the back of the book, refer to the answer key and so on. Here again, you have like some ideas about how you can practice the speaking part with a part. Talking about your day. I'm sorry, we can skip this بقى خلاص, but it goes with the same idea actually. Fine. And of course, as I told you, you got to read the tips, and these are the most important parts. Here بقى we come to something يعني ده في ناس ما ممكن يعني تقول له it's very easy مش هنركز فيه قوي. فاكرين احنا في السيشن انا بعت لكم how to tell the time. Am I right? يا جماعه
Yes.
I sent
Yes.
it to you. طب انا بعتها لكم ليه؟ لان في الامتحان انا ممكن يجي لي في الليسننج فور اكزامبل حد بيتكلم بيقول مثلا 5 to 5 past 5 ويروح جايبها لي بالنمبرز او بالديجيتس في السؤال او العكس vice versa. فانا I need to know how to tell the time exactly. ويا ريت تراجعوها لان مثلا فيهم حاجه احنا مش عندنا. يعني موضوع واحده الا 25 دقيقه دي مش عندنا. انا بقول واحده 12 ونص و5 ما بقولش 25 to 1 for example. بعد كده the next exercise للامانه انا مش شايف ان هو exercise مهم خالص. فهنا for example when you get up مش عارف ايه كلمات letters that we have, the letters are خلاص او scrambled. المفروض ان احنا نكتب الحروف عشان اختار الفيرب المظبوط واعمل له correction. وانا بصراحه مش مقتنع بالاكسرسايز ده، والله if you like to do in your own it's your business up to you. And then we come to the next exercise. ويا ترى ده related to ايه برضو؟ عايز اسمع الكلمه بقى. tell me ده related لايه؟
collocations.
يا سلام عليك وانت متالق. مين الجميل ده؟ مين؟ انا مش شايف اصلا زي I'm hiding the names. Who has said it?
محمد.
Thank you يا محمد. اوكي برافو عليك collocation. السؤال الفني بقى ده I need to ask everybody. When do we say make and when do we say do? It's a ثانوية عامة question. قولوا لي كده التيتشرز what did the teachers tell you about that؟ امتى استخدم make وامتى استخدم do؟ ولا هتقول لكم احفظوا الكلمات اللي تيجي مع make والكلمات اللي تيجي مع do؟
كانوا
some
بيحفظونا.
نعم؟
كانوا
انا
بيحفظونا بس some homework I think do.
ايوه يعني انا كنت بتحفظها كلمات بتيجي مع make كلمات بتيجي مع do. عرفت الرول بتاعتها ولا ايه؟
I think
And I said it in one of the sessions by the way. The difference between make and do.
Doctor, I think make with some things that does not require any efforts, but do with things that require a lot of effort, like operation.
Not exactly, not 100%. هو simply tell yourself something. Tell yourself something. Make equals create. If you look at this thing and you feel that you are creating, use make على طول يا ماما. But that's why we say make tea, make coffee, make pizza. Because you create. Do انت you take part in something that is already there. يبقى انا لو بخلق الحاجه دي create use make. That's why we say make a mess. He made a mess in my room. But for the other activities, you don't use this. I mean, make you create. For the other activities, you take part in something that's already there. But that's why for the cleaning, دي هتبقى ايه؟ Do or make?
Do.
Make the bed.
Make.
Because you tidy the beds. You create something here. How about dinner?
Make.
Make because you create.
Make.
About your homework? About homework?
Do.
How about the next one, the laundry?
Doctor, your voice
How about the laundry?
doesn't clear.
It's not clear. How about the laundry? Laundry.
Do.
Do the laundry exactly. That is the point about it, and you can do the rest. طب هتأكد منين ان how will you make sure that your answers are correct?
Key answer the last two.
Exactly. The answer key exactly at the end of the book.
The
Thank
last
you so
one.
much. هنا بقى واخدنا البارت تاني رائع يعني. بص حبيبي احنا في one of the ways of teaching something. يعني مثلا I want to teach you how to write something. انا بديك example كده على الرايتنج ده. خلاص؟ ف what is good about here الاكسرسايز ده من الاكسرسايز الرائعه اللي موجود. ليه بقى؟ ان انا I'm going to use the words in the box and put them in the right places. ده step number 1 عشان اعمل الكولوكيشن و join sentences in the right way. That's number 1. هنا في collocation. و at the same time this will be a way for us as if to tell me about how I can talk about something like that if I have it in the speaking class. هنا كاني يعني ضربت عصفورين بحجر زي ما بنقول. Did you get me? For example, I'm having a great time. I need somebody to read this, please, and do this exercise. Yes, please raise your hand. حبايبي anybody. انتوا مكسوفين ولا ايه؟ انا مش فاهم. يا جماعه somebody to read. I need somebody to read. طب يلا شروق read. شروق. يا شروق.
Hi Sam, I'm having a great time there in France. I'm learning lots of French. My host family is very nice. They not in an apartment in an area called Bantine. And they, eh? I can't hear you well.
There is a missing word here. What is it? They A an apartment.
They
And they
live.
walk. Huh? ماشي, okay. They have an apartment in an area. Why not? Okay. Both A as journalists, both
Work.
man as journalists, and so on. خلاص?
Yeah.
So this will be a way to that will help you to speaking. طبعا you talk about somebody or you talk about yourself, whatever. The next exercise انا مش شايفه مهم خالص ولا له علاقه بيكم، انتوا يعني معديين المرحله دي من زمان. Okay. This exercise is about correcting the verb and so on. Simply you can skip exercises 5 and 6. If you want to, it's okay. لو في حد لسه بتلخبط في ايه في present simple and so on. ده برضو انا مش شايف ان هو مهم خالص. ده فيه rearranging the words and so on. ده الاكسرسايز برضو اللي مهم، نفس الاكسرسايز اللي فات. This is what is great about the book here, that starts with you from like scratch with the foundation book to tell you about how you can do something. بص بقى الكتاب ماشي بقى، الكتاب طبعا graded بمعنى ان when you go on you'll find that the topics will get more difficult and you get more to say about something or write or read about something. الدنيا level beyond. هنا برضه ده the second lesson which is about house and home. With the same idea, you'll find that you are learning something new here about your home and so on. طب ده علاقته ايه بالسبيكينج؟ في سؤال في السبيكينج اللي هو which room is your favorite and why do you like it, for example. معايا؟ If you are asked to describe a hotel, describe the place, what you can find in it and so on. Okay, يا حبايبي؟ Is the idea clear?
Yes, doctor.
الحمد لله. خلاص؟ هنا بقى you'll find ده مثلا description of a house. Okay, even if you know the meanings of all the words, but sometimes you'll find that there are some new words. يعني مثلا ايه هي study? What is ايه كلمة study هنا ده? What does it mean? I want to know the meaning of. I want to check if you know the meaning of the word study وattic وhallway. ها? What do they mean? ايه الstudy دي؟ يعني ايه study؟
Like number 4.
برافو عليك. اللي هي ايه study دي؟
A room that has an office and library.
has an office, has a desk.
Desk, sorry.
And an office اللي هو
Desk and
المكتب.
chair. Yes, okay, sorry.
So this is the place where you study your lessons and so on. خلاص؟ وليه بسميها اوضه المكتب، اوضه المذاكره، اوضه whatever. You got me? طب what is the attic? Anyway, it's a room usually at the top of the house where you can keep some stuff that sometimes you don't use. Okay? كان زمان بيسموها الصندره، ما اعرفش حد سمع كلمه الصندره دي قبل كده ولا، بس something similar to لها كلمات كتير. خلاص؟ حد عارف كلمه الصندره؟
Yes.
طب الحمد لله كويس. انا thought ان انا I'm a very old person. طب كويس انكم you know it. Okay, that is the idea, or the basement and so on. هنا بيعرفني some items. انا عارف ان انتوا you might know the meanings of all these words, but still why not؟ احنا بنعمل refreshment. وزي ما قلت لكم الفاونديشن بوك ده عايزين كده let's go through it كده بسرعه كده ايه، ونعرف بس الايه البيسكس how to answer. لان التقيل بقى هيبقى جاي في ايه starting from book 1. اوكي؟ طيب نيجي هنا بيقول لي in pairs discuss the differences between these items and the places. How to describe the difference between a house and an apartment or a flat. معايا؟ هل ده من الأسئلة اللي في طبعا do you live in a house or an apartment؟ خلاص describe your house, your apartment, whatever. خلاص؟ ودي كلمات the words that I may need when I want to if I would like to describe the place where I live. curtains بقى blinds whatever. عارفين البلايندز ولا لا؟ انا بقول لكم في النص كده هتلاقي شويه كلمات كده صغيره بس ممكن تكون جديده علينا. عارفين البلايندز؟ حد يقول لي بلايندز يعني حد ما بيشوفش. ماشي. somebody who cannot see. Okay, but what do you mean by the word blinds here?
ما
I'm sorry?
لحد علمنا اللي هو الشخص الأعمى.
لا a
لحد
blind
معرفتنا
person.
الشخص الأعمى.
ممكن تبقى
سلام عليك.
ستاير مثلا.
يا سلام عليك. ثانك يو بشوي الاول وثانك يو يا مدموزيل من كلمه سميره. ثانك يو يا بشوي الاول وثانك يو يا سميره. برافو عليك. هي بالظبط الستائر الثقيله دي اللي بنسميها حاجه زي البلاك اوت اند سو. خلاص. وده برضه يعلمنا حاجه ثانيه ان انا sometimes this usually happens in English that you may have a word that has more than one meaning. وده من اكبر المشاكل الموجوده في الانجليش. انك you have one word and it has more than one meaning. Like the word kind. I can say that he is a kind person. She is a kind person. And what kind of books do you like? Okay. What type of food do you like? And to type something on the computer. خلاص. دي words with different meanings. I blind a person who cannot see. والبلايندز اللي هي الايه الستائر الثقيله او what you call البلاك اوت يعني. You got me? Many words in English are like that. Do you know the meaning of the word game? هتسمع كلمه game دي قبل كده؟ The word game. يعني ايه the word? What do you mean by the word
What's the
game?
spelling please?
Game G-A-M-E. يعني ايه game؟
Okay, game.
game يعني ايه game؟ يعني game. مش كده؟
Yes.
طيب ليها معنى تاني؟ هو ده السؤال بقى. This is my question. Because I got a surprise for you. بص يا حبيبي. Okay, I'm going to write the word game now. ادي the word game. احنا that we all know. ادي game. What do you mean by game? يعني game. An activity that you do to have fun, often one that has rules that blah blah blah. ادي الجيم. طب هل ليها معنى تاني؟ معايا؟ Look at this one. If you scroll down تخيل ان معناها wild animals and birds. Is it the first time for you to hear about this? I'm sorry, forgive me. Is it the first time for you to hear about this?
Yes.
تمام؟ فنتخيل بقى ان كلمة game معناها or it means wild animals and birds. اللي هي wild animals and birds that people hunt for sport or food. أي حيوان أو طير أو an animal or bird that you hunt or that you shoot to hunt or and so on as a sport or for food. ده بسميه game على طول. مش عايز أقول لكم والله about I can't remember maybe 10 years ago. This word was there in a comprehension passage. خلاص؟ والسؤال كان كده. Find a word in the text that means animals or birds. تخيلوا ان مفيش والله تقريبا ولا not a single student answer it. مع العلم انها كانت the title of the text. معايا؟ لان جيم هنا معناها حاجه ثانيه خالص. The animals or birds that we hunt. يشوف كلمات كتير جدا like خلاص. وطبعا ده مشكله ثانيه تحصل اكتر في listening question. When you have a word that got two meanings with a different word stress. بمعنى a word like present, does it have the same meaning as present? Yeah, I said that. Present and the present, do they have the same meaning?
No.
No.
Of course not. He got me a present on my birthday. إنما I would like you to present yourself to the people. مثلا خلاص. عندي كلمة resume كلمة resume اللي هي CV. Resume like start something once more. عندي كلمة دي برضو I guess you might be surprised to know. الكلمة دي كلنا عارفينها. How would you pronounce this word? ها؟ refuse as a verb. بالتالي ما حدش عارف ما فيش حد مش عارفها. What do you mean by refuse? To say no. صح كده؟
Yes.
دي refuse as a verb. حد شاف refuse أو refuse as a noun قبل كده؟ وهنا okay the pronunciation will be different.
Refuse.
refuse مش refuse اللي احنا لسه قايلينها من شويه. دي ايه؟
Refuse.
refuse,
refuse دي اللي هي الverb. As a noun it's pronounced like refuse.
refuse,
refuse,
اللي هي ايه؟ the waste material that has been thrown away. في مخلفات المصانع والحاجات دي كلها مثلا يعني، او ال household refuse and stuff like that. تخيلوا. ف this is what I want to say. ان احنا we've got to be very careful. The book بقى teaches us something about this idea. زي ان يكون عندي كلمات ممكن يكون ليها معنى تاني. طبعا we all know the meaning of the word sink. The ship is going to sink. بس sink هنا معناها ايه؟ What does it mean?
حوض.
الحوض، برافو عليك. Exactly. This is like something that you find in the bathroom or in the kitchen. ده الحوض. ده معنى تاني خالص. You got what I mean? For this what you got to take care while reading. في حاجة اسمها word and the meaning of the word in its context. السياق بتاعها ايه؟ لأن السياق context might be completely different. هلاقي هنا كتاب مديني هنا مثلا picture description. اللي احنا عندنا حاجة زيه في ايه؟ describing a picture و describing the graph و describing blah blah blah. خدت بالكم ان هو the book takes you step by step. كده انا ده كان وجهة نظر ان انتوا you have a look at the foundation, then book 1, then book 2, and then kill yourself بقى with book 3 practice and so on. I hope this will be like a useful idea for you ان شاء الله. يعني بصوا الاكسرسايز ده يعني it's fine if you want to do it like I'm sorry, now cover the picture, I mean this part. With a piece of paper and then listen again and then answer the questions using 2 or 3. هنا بيدربني كمان على listening will speaking at this listening reading at the same time. Listening and you listen and write the answers. I mean يبقى listening question. خلاص؟ والwriting طبعا when I'm going to describe the picture. وهنا مديني tip تانية. In tests and exam you may be asked to write 1, 2 or 3 words. Do not write more or less than you are asked to write. ودي طبعا من التبس اللي بنقولها كتير في السؤال اللي هو بتاع ايه؟ You write the answers with no more than 3 words. يبقى لو كتبت 1 word, 2 words, 3 words شغال. وهنا we have a listening exercise. In this part بقى it will be great. Of course, this is what you must do is that you read the questions and then listen and answer these questions. Right? هنا مثلا how does Giorgio مثلا describe his bed? What can he see outside of the window? Listen and answer these questions. Plus, reading and note taking, which is a good idea too, that will help us while doing that. برضه كل ده بعمل language exposure حتى لو مش جاي في الامتحان. خلاص؟ تاني answering the same questions, talking about the present simple. والله الناس اللي عندها مشكلة في present simple ادينا هنراجع هنا. Revise I mean about it and the short notes about answering the short answers and the questions, question formation and so on. And then we come to the reading part, dialogue building and matching. وده بياخدنا برضه to another step on how you can talk about how you can express yourselves when answering questions. برضه if you want to do it. More exercise about the same idea. Then with the same point here, tiny collocations and let's say words that are collocation of course and the prepositions that go with a noun. هو أنا ليه بقول مثلا afraid of وبقول interested in؟ ما ده collocation. But this will be a good way for us to practice that. طب ده هينفعني في الامتحان؟ طبعا يا حبيب قلبي. Because if you make a mistake like that while speaking or while writing, طب ما هي it will be counted as an accuracy mistake. حد فاهم حاجة؟ احنا مش قضية ان احنا بنغلس عليكم في الكلام ده بس موضوع الكولوكيشن سواء الكولوكيشن او البروبوزيشنز in general. احنا the exam tests your language and your accuracy and so on. Then you come to the speaking part. بس كلام speaking ده لو يعني if you would like to record for yourself طبعا مش record بقى send me معايا انا I have got enough on my plate. خلاص فيعني you can. What do you mean by I have enough on my plate? I have a lot on my plate. What does that mean? What does it mean when you have a lot on your plate? I have got enough on my plate. What does this expression mean? حبايبي.
That you have a lot of
Exactly. I have a lot of tasks to finish. Exactly. A lot of correction,
yes.
a lot of feedback, and so on. That's that. خلاص. I have a lot of things, and that's the idea. But that is the point about it, about this unit. Then talking how you speak about a private accommodation, it will give you a lot of ideas. انتوا ما عندكوش writing emails, but it will be enough that you read. برضه بعمل ايه refreshment language. That's ايه. Then the book comes after that with a lot of grammar exercise and vocabulary exercise عشان يعمل ايه consolidation الماتيريال اللي انتوا اتعلمتوها في كل يونت. انا والله يعني انا لو مكانكم if I were you I would take like 1 or 2 units and finish every day. الدنيا هتبقى جميله جدا معاك. تمام يا حبايبي؟ ده بالنسبه لايه؟ للكتاب الستودنتس بوك 1 وانا ده فاونديشن بوك. زي ما احنا شايفين بادي كده بالبيسكس وحاجات سهله جدا وجميله. و it will be great to revise. من ضمن الحاجات بقى الرائعه في الكتاب ان the book itself has its the transcript for the audio. يا سلام بقى لو نسمع الايه السكريبت مع الاوديو كده لان ده بنعمل حاجه اسمها listen and read along which enhances your listening and your reading at the same time. اوكي يا حبايبي تعالوا كده نجرب ايه نعمل الليسننج بتاع listening وال let's listen and read along now. اتفقنا ان الاوديو script is at the end of the book. تمام كده؟ Let's have a look. I guess it's page. ادي الايه الاوديو سكريبت. تمام؟ ده البارت اللي هو بتاع كارلوس وايه وجاك اللي هو the first track اللي هو زي ما احنا شفنا ايه track 2. اوكي؟ Let's listen to it. احنا زي ما قلت لكم قبل كده لما بعمل listen and read along. Listen and read along. احنا بنعمل ايه؟ What are the things that we must notice? يا حبايبي. Say anything. Make me feel that you are there on earth with me. So strange, you know. Muslims and Christians both بيتحججوا برمضان يعني عارفة صعب. Hello.
Yes.
ايوه يا سميرة ايوه يا سميرة انت thank you so much for supporting me يا سميرة. مش عارف الباقيين نايمين ولا مش عارف بيعملوا ايه I don't know. when we listen thank you يا بشوي. طيب حبايبي السؤال بقى هنا انا لما بعمل listen and read along المفروض ايه what are the things that I have to bear in mind when I do that. انا دلوقتي بعمل I listen and read at the same time. بعمل listen and read along. قلت لكم باخد بالي من ايه؟ We said that in the session. Number one that we are going to learn a new ايه؟ new vocabulary و new structures. ما انا هتعلم الستراكشرز automatically. صح؟
Yes.
Sentence formation, how to form a question. الحاجة الثانية في حاجتين مهمين جدا قلناهم في البرونسيشن ليهم علاقة بالفيتشرز of pronunciation بنتعلمهم في في listen and read along. ايه هما؟ مين الجميل اللي هيقولها لي دلوقتي؟ حاجتين مهمين جدا.
Intonation.
يا سلام عليك وانت متألقة. انت جميلة. ايه تاني بقى؟ ثانك يو يا سميرة. ايه تاني؟ intonation والثانية كانت ايه؟ something that starts with C. 2 words, C and S. ده احنا السيشن اللي فات كلها كان معظمها كان او اتكلمنا عن الموضوع ده in detail.
اللي هو البرونسيشن او حاجه زي كده او
اسمها ايه لما
connected words maybe.
connected ايه الله يسامحكم الله يسامحكم connected speech.
Yes, connected speech.
مش احنا قلنا ان بدل ما بقول مثلا get up بقول ايه؟ ها؟ get up ولما يكون when the two words the first word ends with the sound and the same sound is repeated like bus and stop هنطقها ازاي؟
bus stop.
bus stop على طول صح كده وhard day وbest time. وقلنا في ساعات بيحصل الانتروجن في في صوت كده بيطلع، بيبقى زياده ما بين ايه ال two words، حاجه زي go and out. هنطقها ازاي؟
go out
go out.
don't the W بس.
كده 3 rules. وكان في رول ثانيه، كان هما 4 rules، والرول 5 rules. خلاص. الرول الاخرانيه اللي هي قلنا اسمها ايه؟ كان اسمها assimilation، اللي قلنا a new sound is created. زي ما بقول مثلا want.
like want you
شطوره want you، وقلنا ربطنا want you بايه يا سميره؟ بايه؟
حبيبتي.
شطوره you study well exactly. خلاص want you يا ايه؟ تمام؟
حبيبتي.
بالظبط كده. that is the idea. عايزين بقى I want you to notice all that when we listen. خلاص؟ يعني مش عايز اقول لكم حتى دي what does، بنطق على طول what does، والتي الساعه ادي one of the rules. انا عملت dropping للتي. have a great time. وبقول لكم الكلام ده ليه؟ عشان ان شاء الله كده لما في السبيكنج تيست ان شاء الله ما افضلش بقى اقرا له بقى word by word. Jack, I am really excited about coming to stay with you at your house. قلنا this is not correct English. The intonation ups and downs in the voice. Okay? Actually, I do a lot of stuff in my free time, Adi. Okay? You know what? معايا؟ ادي ups and downs in the voice. هي modulation في الفويس. In my voice when I speak. وبعدين I join words when I talk. كل ده هاخد بالي منه بقى، وده هيبقى احسن براكتس ليا لما هاجي اعمل listen and read along. I listen and read at the same time. اللي هو السكريبت. Let's listen كده. Let's try this together. ده انهي تراك؟ تراك كام؟ تراك 2. بالظبط. Let's listen بقى ايه وفولو اب.
Track 2. Hi, Jack. I'm really excited about coming to stay with you at your house on the student exchange trip to Australia next term.
Me too, Carlos.
هاتوا بالكم من next term. ما اقولش next term. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about coming to stay with you at your house. معايا؟
I know you're going to have a great time at my school.
خدتوا بالكم من have a great time. Have a great time.
And with my family.
Tell me a bit about your family. What do you all like doing?
Tell me a little bit. Tell me a little bit. And so on. Let's listen to the part and
Well, I love playing volleyball and basketball. I do volleyball once a week and basketball.
خدنا بالنا هنا ايه؟ What did he say? I do volleyball ايه؟
once a week.
مين اللي قال once a week ده؟ مين ده؟ once ايه؟
week.
once a week على طول. ما connected speech بنقول once a week مش once a week. معايا؟ Tell me a bit. once a week على طول. خلاص؟ الكلام ده كل ده بقول لكم ده بيأثر والله في السبيكنج. وات ذا سيم تايم هلاقي ان ذا سيم اكسرسايز teaches me something about. ما انا بتكلم على الديلي لايف. لما يجي لي السؤال في السبيكنج about daily life I will be able to speak by getting more ideas about that. خلاص؟ ده بالنسبه لايه للستودنتس بوك how to work on it. enjoy بقى. اوكي؟ طب التيتشرز جايد، طبعا التيتشرز جايد ده معمول للتيتشرز بس in case you find it يعني somehow بقى الطريقه اللي انتوا يعني bite you whatever، هلاقي ان فيها some tips again that are really important for يعني المفروض ان the teachers would tell the students about. You got me؟ فهنا كأن عشان كده قلت لكم التيتشرز جايد ده والريفير المفروض ان انا اخلي التيتشرز جايد ده بتاعنا، بس لا I need you to know and to study it on your own and to know how to do that. هنا التيب هنا مهمه جدا. مثلا in some exam reading task you may be asked to complete a matching exercise where you match descriptions to people. For example, first identify keywords and so on. هنا بيديني tips انا بجاوب ازاي. ده ميزه الايه التيتشرز جايد. خلاص؟ you go through كده. سيبكم من الحته اللي هي بتاعت الشرح دي مش بتاعتكم خالص. هلاقي برضو موجود الانسر كي سهله قدامي للاكسرسايز. ده اكسرسايز 3. تمام. الانسر كي هنا بدل ما ارجع لاخر الكتاب اهو النسخه هي التيتشرز جايد كوبي is there. تمام؟ and so on. سيبكم الحاجات اللي فيها الشرح دي مش بتاعتكم خالص. اوكي؟ هلاقي الانسر كي وهلاقي كمان ساعات الايه السكريبت. حبايب قلبي, do you have any questions about how to use اللي هو الفاونديشن book? I need to hear your comments بقى. one by one كده tell me about your plans on working on that. انا اتكلمت على الفاونديشن, لسه ما اتكلمتش على book 1 و 2 و 3. book 1 and 2. انتوا كده بتاخدوا 3 مع ال other instructor.
وانا عندي سؤال قبل ما اقول فيدباك.
اتفضل يا حبيبي.
هو الايام اللي جايه هننفع ناخد سيشنات زي كده تاني؟
حلوه السيشنات دي, جمع مؤنث سالم, مش حتى سيشنز حتى يا بشوي. ماشي يا بشوي.
ايوه
يا باشا عشان انت حبيبي
ماشي,
من
بس
اسيوط
عشان
بس.
اتفضحت بيها الكلمه دي ورجعت. ماشي, انا اتفضحت بيها الكلمه دي برضه ورجعت قلتها تاني. كنا عاملين كامب كان في كامب تبع المنحه, والدكتور ايهاب بيتكلم, فانا قلت له سيشنات برضه, بدل ما اقول له سيشنز والكلام ده
شفت
فقلت له
بقى
سيشنات.
شفت بقى انا مش هتكلم. سيشنات جمع مؤنث.
تقريبا عامله عقده لمدرسين الانجليزي كله. يلا مش مشكله.
ولا يهمك انت يا حبيبي, ولا يهمك. دلوقتي السيشنز بتاعتنا ان شاء الله احنا فاضل لنا 2 sessions on 2 Fridays, اللي هي هيبقى Friday, طبعا not this Friday طبعا, happy days everybody, Friday after. خلاص, اللي هو هيبقى I think 28 I think بالظبط. عندنا حصه في 28, one session في 28 و another one in 5th of. ده السيشنز النورمال بتاعتنا اللي هي تبع الايه
I know that. I think I mean input session.
my free input session. عينيا ليك. حاضر, عينيا طبعا, عينيا. بس خليها بقى ايه بعد العيد ان شاء الله, يعني مثلا next Monday ممكن ناخد واحده, next Monday next Tuesday.
ايوه يعني حضرتك كنت محدد يومين في الاسبوع اللي جاي, لو ينفع مثلا ناخد يوم منهم او الدنيا تمشي كده.
عينيا حاضر. ناخد برضو شويه كده, ناخد انبوت بقى, نتكلم ازاي على بوك 1 وبوك 2 ان شاء الله, اقول لكم تشتغلوا ازاي, لان الحاجات دي هتنفعكم قوي. تمام. اتفضل. ايه تاني كنت بتقول؟ عايز تقول فيدباك, قول لي عايز ايه, if you have a questions or something. حاضر يا سميره, one minute.
لما انا الكلام اللي انا استفدت منه وعرفت ان انا هشتغل ازاي. يعني البلان بتاعتي انت حضرتك قلت ان انا لو خدت واحد او اتنين كل يوم 3 4 5 ايام اكون طلعت من الكتاب كله.
والله هتظبط معاك ظابطه ما اقولكش, I swear to God دي هتظبط جدا. خلاص, بس ايه بقى بايه يعني, بشغل كده جامد يعني. تمام.
هو كده احنا كده الحمد لله, يعني السيشن جت في ميعادها. الاسبوع اللي جاي كله يعتبر اجازه رمضان, كل سنه وانتم طيبين.
وانت طيب يا حبيبي.
فالواحد فاضي وقاعد ونايم, فممكن شويه الصبح وشويه الظهر شويه في العصر, فتكون الدنيا كده لمت الدنيا.
سلام عليكم. رجاله اسيوط.
لا اسيوط
اسيوط
يهودي.
الراجل الصعيدي الجميل. حبيب قلبي يا باشا.
ربنا يخليك.
ايوه, ربنا يكرمك يا حبيبي. ايوه يا سمير.
انا كنت عايزه اكتب حاجه بس. احنا في سيشنين ان شاء الله.
سيشنين بقى هنا دي مؤنث بقى, هي اسمها ايه بقى, مثنى.
ان شاء الله الجمعه اللي جايه واللي بعدها
ان شاء الله.
يعني بقترح ناخدها كلها سبيكينج, علشان يعني اكيد الريكوردينج مش حاجه كويسه. يعني انا مثلا بسجل ريكورد مثلا مره او اتنين, فدي حاجه مش كويسه.
ليه مش كويسه؟ يا سميرة؟ انت اللي موسوسه يا سميرة. بس ايوه مش كويسه
يعني برضو يعني هصحح لنفسي وبعيدها تاني, مش زي ان احنا نتكلم.
حلوه اللعبه دي. ماشي, طب اقول لك على حل كويس. بصي, مبدئيا التو سيشنز اللي جايين ان شاء الله, التو دايز دول هم هيبقى 2 دايز, هيبقوا 6 اورز. اوكي. مبدئيا طبعا مش هنشتغل متاخر زي ما كنا بنعمل في رمضان, يعني هنبتدي برضو بعد واحده كده. بس ناوي بقى اقسمها, يعني هنخليها مثلا 2 اورز وبعدين بريك, 2 اورز بريك, 2 اورز بريك اند سو اون. خلاص, على مدار اليوم خدنا واحده منها, يوم تاني هتظبط. ساعتها بقى هنقسم, يعني نقول مثلا 2 اورز دول سبيكينج بس. ايه رايك؟
تمام حلو.
عينيا ليك. بس كده مش معناها انك هتعملي الهومر, هتعملي الاساينمنت.
لا هعمل.
ما تزوغيش, اصل انا عارف الحركات دي يا سميرة, ما شفتكيش قبل كده بس انا
هعمله
عارف.
والله. انا عايزاها بس تبقى حاجه زياده لينا.
ماشي يا فندم, عينيا ليك, بهزر معاكي. ايوه يا حبايبي.
معلش اخر حاجه.
ماشي يا بشوي. ايوه يا بشوي.
هو انا بالنسبه لي اللاب بتاعي كان بايظ وبعته التوكيل, فهو اتصلحه وهيجي بعد العيد على طول.
تمام.
فانا اخر تو سبيكينج ما عملتهمش, فينفع اول ما يجي كده اسجله مع بعض
بشوي لو هيتسجل على الموبايل يا بشوي, ما تتلككش يا بشوي.
ما هو انت حضرتك قلت لي ما تبقى يعني خلي الشغل فورمال شويه، ما نعملش حاجه على الواتساب والتليجرام،
طالما في
فخليهم فايل.
اكسبشن سجله على الموبايل وبعدين ابعته على الدرايف.
خلاص اذا كان كده ماشي، هبعته من
اذا كان
حضرتك
كده
عادي، انا
ماشي.
بالنسبه لي
انا هتكلم صعيدي احسن منك انت كمان مش تبقى عارف يعني.
ما جربتش حاجه
حبيبي. انت ما تعرفش الصعيدي بالنسبه لي ايه يعني، ما تعرفش انت. خلاص ما ندردش مع بعض، اقول لك الصعيد بالنسبه لي ايه اجمل حاجه يعني. اوكي ها يا حبايبي، who else has got a question؟ كيرلس، رندا، محمد، فاطمه and احمد. حبايبي السايلنت على طول دول. would you like to
No,
say
I understand that we should try to participate in the book and
practice in the book, practice as much as you can. Sure.
okay,
It's a
I
self-study
will
يا كيرلس. It's self-study.
I
Remember
know
this.
I know that
It's a
I know that
self-study book. It's a great self-study book. على فكره
okay.
انا كون ان انا بتكلم عن كتاب يعني enthusiastically like that يبقى الكتاب ده جامد يعني، ما انا مقتنع بيه جدا. انا ما بقولش الكلام ده لاي حد يعني انا كنت بتكلم كده enthusiastically قوي. طبعا كامبريدج ده ما فيش حد بيختلف عليه. اوكي بس انا مثلا بحب بارنز بالنسبه لي رائع. ما اعرفش I'm not marketing for بارنز بس let me share it with you برضه. اسمه بارنز ايلتس. بارنز ايلتس. الكتاب ده غير عادي بجد يعني، من اجمل الكتب اللي انا يعني استخدمتها في حياتي. بارنز. بس انا مش عايز اشتتكم بكتب كتير. You got me? And to see what is suitable for you. في ناس ما بتحبش تشتغل غير من كامبريدج بس. اوكي؟ ادي بارنز مثلا. كتاب غير عادي. مش عايز اقول لك انا I have been using بارنز for IELTS and TOEFL for يعني I swear more than 20 years. You got me؟ لا غير عادي. بارنز ده تحس بيه انك مثلا يعني كده في تيتشرز قاعد جنبك بيقول لك والمستيك وانت المستيك هنا ليه والقصص دي كلها. كتاب غير عادي. اوكي؟ I'm not marketing for parents but I'm telling you. فانا بقول لك نفس الكلام مع mindset for IELTS. كتاب فعلا حلو. فعلا it's a great book with self study. Read everything, check the answers. معايا. If there are points that are not clear ممكن نعملها discussion كده لو في وقت في السيشن، وكده كده I'm going to give you like free input sessions I promise you يعني. You are all my dear children. Okay يا كيرلس. طيب the rest, do you have any questions يا حبايبي؟ Shall we say goodbye؟ ولا في حتى ولا في yes ولا no ولا. نعم.
Thank you for this session.
You're welcome يا حبيبي.
فطارا شهيا.
We
نعم.
want more of this session.
عنا يا حبيبي. فطارا شيء. ماشي يا باشا. ثانك يو حبايبي. ثانك يو سو ماتش.
ولو دكتور
ايوه
حوار الفطار ده عايز نجربه مرة يعني،
انا
عارف فطار
هاجي
رمضان ده السفرة مليانة طول بعرض.
طبعا. وانا انا هاجي لك اسيوط هاجي اقعد عندكم 3 ايام ولا حاجه عشان يعني كده عشان
ده انت تنورني،
ده انت حبيبي.
بس تعالى بعد عن رمضان عشان اعرف اعمل معاك الواجب كويس.
ماشي رمضان خلص ما تتلككش، رمضان خلص
عشان اجي انا في رمضان
عشان
وتتردد
نأجل
لي، بس في
العزومة
رمضان
السنة الجاية.
تتردد لك يا باشا. عينيا والله، عينيا ليك والله. والله لو في فرصه يا ريت
ربنا
اعزمكم
يخليك يا
كلكم
دكتور،
والله.
تسلم
حبايب
عليك.
قلب والله. انتوا ولاد حبايبي
ربنا
يعني.
يخليك يا دكتور، شكرا.
ربنا ما يحرمناش منكم أبدا. ماشي يا حبايب قلب، اشوفكم على خير ان شاء الله. ماشي اوكي، يلا مع الف سلامه.
سلام سلام.
مع السلامه مع السلامه.